Phil back with another broadcast. Well, it's good to have some company tonight. I'm sure you might be mighty confused. What is this? How did you end up here, and why am I talking like I'm from so long ago? I can assure you that none of these questions will be answered. But I can tell you one thing. On this platform, we rely on your attention to survive. It's quite pathetic if you allow yourself to think about it too much, so let me ask you this. Have you ever tried a dragon fruit? I have. Anyway, this video is about the melodic minor scale.
I'm normal again. So I've been wanting to make a video on melodic minor for quite a while because I feel like in so many ways, melodic minor is like the forgotten sibling of minor scales. Because in case you weren't familiar, there are three main minor scales. Most people are familiar with natural minor or Aeolian, and if you're into metal, you probably know about harmonic minor. But melodic minor? What songs come to mind when you think of melodic minor? Because personally, I am drawing a blank, so I'm reading up on it here, and listen to this. The distinctive sound of the harmonic minor scale, yes, harmonic minor, but stay with me, comes from the augmented second between its 6th and 7th scale degrees. While some composers have used this interval to advantage in melodic composition, others felt it to be an awkward leap, particularly in vocal music, and preferred a whole step between these scale degrees for smooth melody writing. So, for some context here, the natural minor scale does not have a leading tone. So you create harmonic minor to solve that problem, but by raising the 7th scale degree, you instead get a big interval jump between the flat 6th and the natural 7th instead. So in a way, you can say that you solve one problem, but you create another just the same. So anyway, let's keep reading. To eliminate the augmented second between its 6th and 7th scale degrees, these composers either raised the 6th degree by a semitone or lowered the 7th by a semitone. The melodic minor scale is formed by using both of these solutions. In particular, the raised 6th appears in the ascending form of the scale, while the lowered 7th appears in the descending form of the scale. Traditionally, these two forms are referred to as the ascending melodic minor scale and the descending melodic minor scale. So my plan for today was to learn a new scale and then write something with it. One scale, not two, so clearly this cannot stand. What is the scale? I need to consult an expert on this. Let's check in with Rick Beata. In the Beata book, this is how C melodic minor is presented. And so this is the ascending version of the scale, which makes a lot of sense to me because the weird thing about the descending version is that we get all the same notes as the natural minor scale. So scratch all this about two different scales. We're using the ascending version and nothing else. Or another way to put it, the real melodic minor. We'll find a way to make it work. So here's our melodic minor scale. And if you know your scales, you can probably see that this is like the major scale, but with a minor third. Let's listen to what it sounds like in its ascending form. Now, what I like to do when I approach a new scale is to look for triads first. Simple ones that I can handle, just to orient myself a bit. Where are my basic major and minor chords? And so when it comes to melodic minor, I get 4 of them. C minor, D minor, F major, and G major. So I was thinking, since I've never composed with this scale before, I'll start real simple, and my approach to this will be the same as in the Dorian Vamp video. And if you haven't watched that video, you should, but I'll recap real quick. In Dorian, our 4 chord is a major chord, because of the raised 6th. And I've always really liked that sound, going from a minor 1 to a major 4. And we don't have that in natural minor. And since the 6 is also raised in melodic minor, we can do the same thing here. So to get more familiar with the sounds of the scale, I will try that same progression today as sort of an introduction. And to make sure this does not get mistaken for Dorian, I'll throw in that natural 7th just to be safe. And I should mention that my guitar is in drop D tuning, so I wrote this little mini jam in D melodic minor. Let's have a listen. Another way to play around with melodic minor is to see what kind of unique chord progressions we could put together if we stay within the scale. So I've always been scared of weird chords, as in I don't know how to use them. So for this video, I'm gonna challenge myself a bit on that and not stick to the safe and comfortable triads that I know and I'm used to. I'm gonna risk embarrassment and try to use one of the weird chords. So
Let's look at the scale one more time. So building chords out of the remaining scale degrees gives us E flat augmented, A diminished, and B diminished. But I read once, or heard somewhere, that a half diminished chord is way cooler than a diminished chord, and to get a half diminished chord, you had to add a minor 7 to it, which we can do on both the A and B chords, because a minor 7th on the A diminished chord is a G, which is part of our scale, and a minor 7th on the B diminished chord is an A, which is obviously also part of the scale. The question now is, which of these chords to use, the 3rd, 6th, or the 7th? After some soul searching and quite a few sleepless nights, I decided to finally go for the A half diminished chord, or the A minor 7 flat 5 chord, depending on which side you're on in that debate, but that's a topic for another day. So with my decision being final, I've now settled on a chord progression that is C minor, F major, A half diminished, D minor, and G major, and then I'll just loop it over and over. But now I'm getting cold, so let's cut back to me inside.
No, not to me. So this is what that chord progression would sound like if we just play everything straight up and down. Not that great, if you ask me. So what I did instead was I spread out the voicings a bit and I inverted some of the chords where I felt like it was needed. So now it sounds like this instead. This sounds a bit better to my ears. And I must say that the first jam had a mysterious potentiality to it. So for this piece, I'm going for a bit of a dark sci-fi feel. Because from what I learned so far, this scale seems to do mysterious quite well. It's not too dark, but it's certainly not major either. So this is what I came up with. And that concludes my day of getting to know melodic minor, the mysterious minor scale from the borderlands of light and dark, brighter Dorian perhaps, or maybe a gloomier Ionian. Either way, this was a lot of fun and I hope you enjoyed it too. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.